Good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Jason Ingram. So, I wanted to get on here and just give my thoughts on some of the things discussed in earlier today's Nintendo Direct showcase, um, which I thought was pretty decent overall. And I just wanted to come on here and just talk about some of the things that I'm looking forward to, that I'm very excited about. Before we get started, be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty, which is a site full of an impressive line of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And if you're interested in making a purchase, be sure to use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, and you get 10% off of your order. So definitely put that to good use, and happy shopping. So I won't cover all of the announcements from this Nintendo Direct, but mainly just the ones that got me very interested, that I'm pumped about. So, Nintendo Direct. This is from Wednesday, February 8th. This was at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm on the East Coast. And I have to say, one of the things, pretty much the main thing that caught my attention the most out of this whole Nintendo Direct was the fact that they're going to start bringing Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to Nintendo Switch Online, even starting today, February 8th. Like, that's big. That's really big. And I have to say, there was a number of titles mentioned that I think a lot of people will be very happy about. So, it says here, and like I said, I have an article, the IGN article, that pretty much has everything that was discussed, so definitely use that as a reference. But I do definitely recommend checking out the Nintendo Direct if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it. But says all Nintendo Switch Online subscribers will have access to Game Boy games. But those with the expansion pack with their subscription will also get access to Game Boy Advanced games. And this is pretty big for me. I've never owned a Game Boy Advance before. I've had an original Game Boy and a Game Boy Color, but I've never owned a Game Boy Advance. But of course, one of the things with the Game Boy Advance games is you could play them on the DS Lites. So there is that. But anyway, so the Game Boy games, and they have these listed, that will be available at launch are Tetris, Super Mario Land 2 through 6, Golden Coins, Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX, Gargoyle's Quest, Game & Watch Gallery 3, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, Metroid 2 Return of Samus, Wario Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Land. Not only that, they have an option where you can switch between different filters. You can have the Game Boy filter, Game Boy Pocket filter, and the Game Boy Color filter. And you can play with friends locally or online. So that's pretty neat. Now for the Game Boy Advance games that are available at launch, you got Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, WarioWare Inc., Mega Micro Games, Kuru Kuru Kururin, Mario Kart Super Circuit, and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which these games will also support local and online play with friends. And they're going to be adding more games as time passes, which could include Legend of Zelda Oracle of the Seasons and Ages, Pokemon Trading Card Game, Kirby Tilt and Tumble, Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Fire Emblem, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and Golden Sun. So that's a pretty big deal. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games being added to Nintendo Switch Online. And like I said, you got to have the expansion pack in order to get access to the Game Boy Advance games. But still, that's pretty big news. And this all starts today, February 8th. So all that's available, and they're going to be adding more as time passes. So that was quite an announcement. I never really been into Pikmin, but you know, they showed Pikmin 4, which got a release date, July 21st. So I got a couple of friends that are Pikmin fans, so that's pretty cool for them. Metroid Prime Remastered, available digitally today, but will be released in physical form on February 22nd. So only a few weeks away, but you know what? That's pretty cool. Metroid Prime Remastered. I know a couple of folks are pretty excited about that. I mean, I definitely plan on getting it. There wasn't any mention of Metroid Prime 4 or the remasters of 2 and 3. But maybe down the road, I don't know. I mean, I was really hoping to get some Metroid Prime 4 news, but looks like that's going to have to wait. But some new features that are going to be in this version, that you'll have new dual stick controls, but there will also be a control option that will recreate the feel of the original game. Because remember, the original game was on the Nintendo GameCube. So, but nah, that's pretty neat. But it's available digitally in the Nintendo Switch eShop. But if you want to get it physically, you just have to wait a couple of weeks. February 22nd, they're releasing it physically. So just have to wait a little bit, not too long. I'll probably do the same. I'll probably wait. But yeah, Metroid Prime Remastered. Another exciting piece of news that got my attention. Finally, we have an official release date for Advance Wars 1 and 2 Boot Camp, which will be April 21st. So, a few months away, but thankfully, we know we got a release date. That game has been put on delay. If I remember correctly, that game was supposed to come out, if I remember correctly, last December, or probably before that. I want to say probably... No, actually, I think it was supposed to come out in November of last year, if I remember correctly. But got delayed, but now it's finally got a new release date, April 21st. I still have my copy reserved, because I've always wanted to play an Advance Wars game. Never got a chance to. A lot of them were on handhelds, so I'll finally get a chance to play. So, April 21st, looking forward to that. Still have my copy reserved. Looking forward to that. So, was really happy to see that piece of news. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave number 4 will not only add Yoshi's Island, but also another new character. It's adding Birdo. So, new character added, new course added, and yeah. It was also said that more returning characters from older Mario Kart games are going to be in future waves. Now, originally, there were 6 waves announced for this booster course pass. So this will be wave 4, which will be released this coming spring. So we might get it in March, April, or May, but wave 4 this spring. So, which I have this booster course pass myself. Not to mention, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has surpassed 50 million sales. That's right, 50 million. Still at the top of the list for best-selling Nintendo Switch game. And honestly, it's probably going to stay at the top of the list for a while. But you know what? That just goes to show honestly, Nintendo can take their sweet time as far as a Mario Kart 9. They can take their sweet time and just keep adding tracks and characters. It'll continue to sell. It'll continue to sell. So that's my take on that. Splatoon 3 gets an expansion pass. So the expansion pass takes let's see, it's split into two waves. You got the first wave, which is Inkopolis, which apparently was from the first Splatoon game, which I've never played the first Splatoon game. The Squid Sisters will be returning for this first wave. So this first wave is spring of this year, spring 2023. The second wave in this pass is called Side Order, which will arrive in the future. They didn't have a release date for that, but it'll arrive in the future. But it's a fresh new single player campaign. I believe that's what they're saying with what Side Order. So pretty much its own campaign. But that's pretty neat. First wave arrives in spring of 2023, and I believe you can pre-purchase the expansion pass now as we speak in preparation. So that's pretty neat, which I do have Splatoon 3, so I'll definitely be taking advantage of that. Also, Kirby's Return to Dreamland is getting a demo, so I think that's pretty cool. The remaster gets a new epilogue, and you can unlock that after finishing the story mode. And yeah, it's going to have a demo. So I'll probably definitely check that out. And don't forget, this is a game that up to 4 players can play. And this game is right around the corner, February 24th. So in just a few weeks, another game I have reserved. So definitely looking forward to that. They also talked about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the third volume of the expansion pass, which adds another hero and some more challenge missions. So, Volume 3 of this expansion pass will be available actually next week, February 15th. So, next week, new hero named Masha added, and also new challenge battles. And then you have Volume 4 that'll arrive later this year, which will have a new story scenario. So, got some information on Volume 3. Volume 3's coming up, and then Volume 4 will be later this year. So, thought that was pretty neat. Octopath Traveler 2 has a demo that landed today. So, we got that. And what's really cool is with the demo, you can actually transfer to the full game when it arrives, which that's another February 24th release. So, man, February, hard-hitting month for game releases, especially between the PS5 and the Switch. I thought that Dead Cells' Return to Castlevania game was pretty intriguing. It has, it definitely has that feel to it, or that look to it, of Castlevania. Not only that, has a March 6th release. So, March will be here before you know it. That's one I'm going to keep my eye out on. Still, my all-time favorite Castlevania game is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's my GOAT of Castlevania games. But that Dead Cells Return to Castlevania game, I might actually look into. I might actually get that. But we'll wait and see. I thought it was pretty interesting. A new Samba de Amigo game is coming out in summer 2023, which I haven't heard of a Samba de Amigo I haven't heard that name in forever, to be honest with you. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I probably won't get it, but the fact that it was mentioned, I was like, huh, that's kind of neat. Baten Kaitos is making a return, which it's 1 and 2 HD remaster, which is a old GameCube card battling game, which I remember. The funny thing about Baten Kaitos, I remember hearing about this game through X-Play. I remember watching X-Play, and I remember watching the preview that they did of Baten Kaitos. But yeah, it's a card battling game, which, I mean, I never really had much interest in it, but I just thought it was kind of like, oh, they're remastering that. Huh, I remember that name. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting. And of course, they had a new gameplay trailer for the new Bayonetta Origins game, which releases March 17th, which I've never played a Bayonetta game. I might down the road, but maybe. They showed off Sea of Stars, which apparently is a prequel to The Messenger, which I have heard about The Messenger. I've seen it in like the, game stores and such, digitally. But this Sea of Stars, there's a demo available for it that I might actually check out. But the game releases August 29th of this year. But I might check out the demo, see what it's like, and then that'll determine whether I consider investing in it. Disney Illusion Island, it actually caught my attention. The co-op play style, like being able to play as Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald Duck. You know what? I might actually consider playing this with friends. The gameplay, it looked intriguing. It actually looked intriguing. It's a July 28th release. Each character has their own abilities, but it looks like it could be a fun game to play with friends. Co-op with 3 other people. So I might look into it. And then of course, more news revealed about Fire Emblem Engage DLC. They do have an expansion pass, which adds some more emblems to select from. And Wave 4 will actually add a new story arc called Fell Xenologue. So, which I need to get that expansion pack. I have the game, I just don't have the expansion pack. So, I'm definitely looking to get that. Let's see, what am I missing? Oh, and of course, pre-orders are live for the new upcoming Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom game. Not only are pre-orders up, it's going to have its own collector edition and a fresh new Link amiibo, which I've never really been into collecting amiibos or anything like that, but I got a handful of friends that are all about amiibos, so this is a big deal. But the interesting thing that's been creating a little bit of buzz is that this will be the first Switch exclusive game that will debut in retail for $69.99. That's right, y'all. $70 standard Switch game. $70. The collector's edition will be $129.99. So $130 for the collector's edition. So $70 for the standard, $130 for collector's edition. And the collector's edition includes the game, art book, steelbook case, an icon art steel poster, and a set of 4 pen badges. I mean, if you're into art and you like collecting art books, definitely check it out. And apparently, the Link Amiibo, according to here, says the Link Amiibo gives players access to materials and weapons and a special fabric for Link's paraglider. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, and remember, the last showcase, they gave the release date, so we already know what the release date is. It's still May 12th of this year. So a lot of people are looking forward to that. I mean, it's been one of the most anticipated games for a long time. But yeah, overall, that's pretty much what caught my attention with today's Nintendo Direct. I know some people might have thought about maybe the hint of a new Nintendo console, but honestly, I really feel like a 4K or like a better enhanced Switch, if it does get announced, it probably won't be until like later this year. If that's still a possibility, I don't know. I mean, some would think after the fiasco with Pokemon Violet and Scarlet that maybe they would have a new Switch version in time for this new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom game, but I guess not. But overall, like I said, pretty decent Nintendo Direct. Like I said, Metroid Prime remastered I thought was pretty cool. More Mario Kart DLC for Deluxe 8, really cool. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games getting added to the Nintendo Switch Online was really neat. But I think overall, just that plus Advance Wars 1 and 2 Boot Camp finally getting an April release date definitely made me happy. And, you know, there's other stuff to check out as well. But I have to say, it was a pretty decent Nintendo Direct. It was pretty decent. But there's still a lot to look forward to coming out this month alone when it comes to releases for the Switch. I mean, Octopath Traveler 2, you got Tales of Symphonia remastered, you got Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, which I've been playing the mess out of the demo for that. So there's a lot to look forward to. On the Switch. But I'm pretty pumped. I'm definitely very pumped. Am I missing anything for the Switch for this month? Or at least that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, Tales of Symphonia. That's the 16th and the 17th. Oh yeah, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's February as well. Octopath Traveler 2. Both of those games come out the same day, February 24th. So, yeah. So, quite a couple of games coming out on the Switch. And then, of course, outside of the Switch, I mean, I know there's folks picking up Hogwarts Legacy this week. I know I'm definitely getting Like a Dragon Ishin. Wild Hearts, I'm still thinking about, but we'll see. But, yeah. So, it's a pretty big month. February's a pretty big month for gaming, for sure. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did y'all think about today's, the February 8th edition of the Nintendo Direct? What did you think about the announcements, what they showcased? What are you looking forward to? Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to check out that link to Game Beauty as well. Don't forget, Blitzball Champ promo code for 10% off of your order if you're interested in making a purchase. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the content. For another Blitzball Champ gaming video here on the U to the Tube, I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.